Before we ever attempt to try and follow God, we must consider what we might have to sacrifice. We need to count the cost. In Luke chapter 14 verse 28 through 30, Jesus says, "So don't follow me without considering what it will cost you. For who would construct a house before first sitting down to estimate the cost to complete it? Otherwise he may lay the foundation and not be able to finish. The neighbors will ridicule him, saying, 'Look at him. He started to build but couldn't complete it.'" Oftentimes, people get baptized or come to Christ without considering what it will take to actually follow him. No one tells us that if we've placed our wife, kids, mom, our dad above Jesus, and are not willing to leave them, we are not worthy of being his disciple. We might have to quit our job, give up life savings, and even die for this. Are we ready to sacrifice it all for him? Consider what Daniel went through when he went into the lion's den. Consider what the disciples went through. Some of their heads were cut off, some of them were sawed in half, all for the sake of Jesus Christ. Consider people in China being beaten and tortured for their faith. Some people live their lives like criminals, on the run, are locked up in prison just to follow God. Statistics say that 13 Christians die every day for their faith. Even as you are watching this video, someone is being tortured for their faith. Do we belong in heaven with these people who refuse to denounce God publicly? Do we deserve to sit at the Lord's table with these people? Is that fair and just? God is an honest judge. He has kids that are going through absolute hell on earth for him. Then he has kids who are doing whatever they want and never considering his will. How do we really think God compares the two? Counting the cost should be the first message that is preached before people come to Christ. Wouldn't you consider the cost of a house before you build it? Or seriously consider what it would take to go into battle with a strong opponent? We need to take a deeper dive into what will be required for us to lose our lives and pick up Jesus' cross. Otherwise, we'll come in with unrealistic expectations or not expecting to lose anything, and then be blindsided by the general requirements. It seems that this message isn't preached often in America. But in other countries, people know the cost that comes with following Christ. Do we? We must look at our lives objectively. We need to compare our lives in America to how everyone else lives in reference to our faith in God. What are we really giving up for the sake of Christ? What are we really willing to do? Are we fighting the good fight of faith? Or are we chasing the cares of this world instead? Jesus says, "Surrender all to me." Are we really following God if our life looks the same after choosing to follow him? Are we living our lives doing whatever we feel like doing? Or are we actually following his will? Are we just pretending to have a relationship with God and being religious? Study the standard of Jesus. Count the cost. Do you have what it takes to follow him?